Hi guys, it's John back with another model final reveal video. This is the Hobbyboss UH-1B Iroquois. They call it the UH-1B Huey. Interesting build, this one. It was pretty easy to put together. It didn't really give me any fit issues. It went together like a charm. There are some omissions in its detail that I think should be there, but weren't included. There's a rear navigation light that comes out the middle of the rear of the fin here, and there's also a section of mechanism here and another light, I believe, that comes out the top of the fin here, which are completely omitted from the kit. Also, the model expects you to put the grenade launcher on the front and put a lot of seating inside the helicopter or some other options and bits and bobs. But I did a medevac version which really only has latches inside the rear bulkhead for bearing stretcher sets, you know, for the casualty evacuation role. There is another issue with this kit. The tail rotor doesn't rotate. There is no facility on the model to allow you to do that. And also the main rotor is a bit of a pain in the arse, because the way you put the main rotor together, the main shaft, and as you can see it's very finely balanced on the back of its skids, but the main shaft will not go all the way around 360 degrees. So the only travel the main rotor will actually do is about that much. And there's nothing I can do about it. It does rotate, but it doesn't rotate any more than about 90 degrees. The Hobbyboss kit, in my opinion, is not as good as the Italeri kit, which is actually a much older tooling, but it does go together a lot easier. And I don't know what it is about the Italeri kit, it just looks like a better kit. But as I said, I didn't really have any issues with it. There are some issues with its things, bits and pieces on it, but you know, the helicopter itself goes together all right. The interior is a bit basic. There's no pilot figures in here. The instrument panel seems to be okay. And the actual helicopter looks the job. It looks like a UH-1B, doesn't it? Yeah, you know, it's all right. But it's a bit of a pig to weigh, because there's not a lot of room inside underneath the floor pan to put weight, and what there isn't enough room for you to put any lead shot, which means you have to use something which is moldable. But yeah, nothing I can do there. Would I recommend this kit to a novice builder? Probably, yeah. It was a funnish build. It was okay. It didn't really give me any issues. As I said before, you know, the kit went together pretty easy. And I think as a novice build, I think it wouldn't be a bad mojo build either. You do get 3 internal options, decals for 2 different versions, a medevac and an attack helicopter, general purpose attack helicopter, both serving in Vietnam. But I just like the look of this particular kit. I think it, you know, it looks the part, doesn't it? Side view, it's not bad, is it? You know, the image of it isn't too bad. Yeah, and the actual internal features of the helicopter, they're pretty okay. You know, you can see the inside, the front section there. I mean, I built a Starfix 48 scale helicopter UH-1B, and these panniers at the front here, in front of the, you know, that feed into the nose section, they were just missing on the kit. And there were no guide rails for the doors. In actual fact, there were no doors on the side, just 2 windows. But this kit, you know, it's pretty detailed in terms of, you know, what's going on there with the helicopter. Anyway, lots of fun. It went together pretty quick. I think it was a 2-week build, and it's all 2 colours mainly. Yeah, it doesn't like to sit on its front of its skids, and it should have, because there was plenty of weight putting on it. Anyway, that's the final reveal. I hope the video has been of use, and thanks for joining us, and I'll catch you for the next one. Bye bye for now.